Jack, I started it, so it's fine. Hey everybody, welcome. If I could get everyone's attention for a couple of minutes, enjoy your dinner here. For those, I think most everybody in the room probably knows me or knows me now, but in case you don't, I'm Professor Dave Brown, and I'm Director of the Entrepreneurship Lab here at Merrimack College, and I welcome you to our very first inaugural pitch competition. And real excited. I've been working with these students since November. We've had a series of workshops. They've been hard at work. I want to stress a couple of things. They have done this on their own time. They're not getting academic credit for this. This is purely their own initiative with a lot of encouragement from me. But they are putting their own time, effort, and energy into this. And so we have 6 great, what I think are great presentations for you tonight. Each one's going to be about 10 minutes long. It'll be about 5 minutes for Q&A. We'll give the judges priority on the Q&A, but if there's time and the audience would like to ask a question, that's great. I just want to acknowledge that Dean Larkin is with us, Dean Ben Larkin here, and from the business school. And Kelly, I apologize, Kelly Feeney, I don't know your title.
Director of Development for the Girard School of Business. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here.
And then my colleague, Meredith Pacey, who runs the Lucci Capital Markets Lab here at Merrimack. Thank you guys all for being here. And of course, Michaela, who is really the one who runs the place. She is our I don't even know what your title is, but you're like the everything person. Thanks for being here. I'd like to introduce our judges as well. And I want to thank them in advance as a group for being here and helping us. And they bring quite a wealth of experience, real practical entrepreneurship experience to this panel. So to begin with, we have Rich Hart. Hello. He's VP of Product at OneVest, which is a fintech wealth management company. And he is on our Girard Board of Advisors. Next we have John Reardon. John is right here in the center. You give a wave. John is the former VP and CFO of Inc. magazine, and many of us were subscribers at one time to that magazine.
By the way, the first letter in my last name is R.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. I apologize for that. I did say it.
I figured out.
Then we have Mike Cummings, Luminary Fellow here at Girard School of Business. And Mike is a multi-entrepreneur. He's been through the startup world many times, and actually, I think you were CEO of a company that successfully pitched at Shark Tank, correct?
I was COO.
COO.
We got $1 million. Founder pitched, and Mark Cuban put $1 million.
$1 million into that company.
How's Spillpack doing nowadays? How's Spillpack doing nowadays?
I don't know.
No, I believe it.
I don't know who they are.
Something the Cuban investment.
Oh, well, as long as you've spoken up, I'll introduce my friend and colleague Mark DeSalvo, who's president of Semaphore USA, which is an investment fund manager, due diligence firm, takes over troubled funds. I'm probably not doing the description justice, but that's Mark. And there's also the town moderator of North Andover. We also have Don Martelli. Don is the CEO of PR Bunker and VP of Integrated Marketing at Alignable. And Alignable, for those who may not be familiar with it, is a business networking platform, and Don serves on the Merrimack Parents Leadership Council. So thank you, Don and Mark. And then we have Max Dawson. Max is a serial entrepreneur. He is presently the Chief Operating Officer of Derm Bion. A biotech startup company, pharmaceuticals. And so some of these folks have been guests on my radio show here on the Merrimack College Station, and it's going to be a podcast starting this summer. It'll be available everywhere. Podcasts are distributed, Spotify, etc. That's going to start in June. And so several of them have already been on that, and the rest of them are going to be, even though I haven't asked them yet. That's entrepreneurship, right? You just make assumptions. All right, so without further ado, we're going to figure out who's going first. So if you didn't get a program, please help yourself. There's some over by the camera over there. We have 6 great student innovators that we're featuring tonight. So I'm going to just assume that the numbering scheme goes across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in other words, Delira is 1, Night Bites 2, Gourmies will be 3, Strata 4, Rent-A-Camera 5, and Powerhouse 6. And so we're going to go in the audience here, and someone named Mrs. Brown is going to pick the number that goes first. So, pick a card, any card. All right.
5.
5. So first we will hear from Rent-A-Camera. 10 minutes, so set the ground rules first too. I'm going to time you guys from when you start, 10 minutes is your presentation time, 5 minutes to take questions and answers. Okay? So, here you go. Not back up here yet? He was here a minute ago. He went down to print something. Should have looked in the audience first. All right. Honestly, seconds ago. Well, we'll move to the next one. Let's go back. Put the, come on in. Where did I put the numbers? I just was, oh, thank you. So we'll have to pick another number.
4.
4. All right. Yep. Every other system this works. Yeah, I go to slideshow and it's not projecting. There we go.
Okay, first off, before I get started, I want to thank everybody for being here. It truly is amazing. I want to thank Professor Brown and Professor Lippman for giving us students the opportunity to do this. This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and just the fact that we can do it here at Merrimack is truly great. So thank you guys for that. So 5 years ago, I was selling sneakers out of my childhood home that I grew up in. Today, I run a 6-figure online Amazon wholesale business. My name is Lucas Fernandez. I'm a junior here at Merrimack College. And for the next 10 minutes, I want to show you how I got to this point and what exactly I would do with the $2,000 if I were to. How do I switch?
Right arrow?
Yeah, it's switched on the computer, but not
No, on the screen.
not on the screen. Do I?
Anybody know why?
I got it.
Thank you.
You'll get a date now.
Oh, it has to be extended or not extended.
Duplicate screens.
Dave, did you close the timer?
Oh, yeah. So we'll do the last second, we'll put up. It works. All right. Sorry about that.
Should I just pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're not familiar with how the business model works, we operate the same way a traditional retailer does, but the difference is we don't have to worry about foot traffic and people coming into our store because it is all done through the biggest online marketplace in the world, Amazon Prime. So the differences between the two, on Amazon Prime, we already have 300 million active customers that are already shopping. Like I said earlier, our customers are already there. We don't have to worry about the demand and people actually coming into a store. So Amazon handles pretty much all the logistics for us. They handle packaging, shipping, storage, when anything is returned. So we don't have to worry about that ourselves. And for a brick and mortar storefront, the traditional way of doing retail, there's a lot of overhead. They're paying rent, they're paying utilities, staff, payroll, and when they want to scale, it's a lot more capital intensive than it would be for us. They have to buy new stores, more leases, and just more things to worry about. So, this is not my first business. Ever since a young age, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My parents are also business owners themselves, so I think it might run in the family. We might have the entrepreneur gene. And in 2017, in 7th grade, I found out about sneaker reselling. What I did, I would go to these sneaker conventions and kind of just flip shoes in person, and then as soon as I got to high school, I wanted to take it to the next step. That's when I prioritized very limited sneaker releases. So these Jordans, they would come out with very limited stock. They'd be insanely hard to get, and I kind of found a way around it and just went from there. And, that led to 2 more business opportunities. The first one was Cook City ACO. It was an online community that myself and an online partner ran together. And what we wanted to do was find our buyers before we actually got our hands on the shoes. And the way we did that was if somebody in the community wanted the newest Jordan coming out this Saturday, they would fill out a form with their information and we would get it for them and charge a fee. Then I worked for a group with over 1,000 paying members called Drop Clock. I worked there for about 3 years. This was more of a coaching group. We helped people get started with sneaker reselling and help them grow larger to the place where we were at. In December of 2024, I found out about Amazon FBA and selling on Amazon. And I did a different business model from December 2024 to June 2025, and then I transitioned into Amazon Wholesale, what I'm doing now in September of this year. So there are 3 different problems that I solve in this business model. The first is for brands. Small to mid-sized brands, especially in the automotive and tool industry, which is what I'm in, are too used to selling the old-fashioned way that they have for decades now. When we step in and partner with these brands or distributors, we're putting their products on a marketplace with millions of customers that they would not have been able to reach without us. They don't really have too much of a grasp on how the modern retail world works, and that's kind of where we come in. For consumers, as you guys kind of know, in the past, if you needed a specific tool or a specific automotive part, you would be calling all the shops in a 20-mile radius, spend hours looking for it just to hope that they have it. Now, that exact part that you've been looking for is at your door within 2 days with Amazon Prime delivery. The next is for distributors. People like myself, we buy a lot of inventory through authorized distributors, and they really value long-term and strong relationships with frequent purchases. So myself and other people that do the same thing that I do, we like to replenish a lot of products. So if last month we spent $10,000 on 1,000 units of a product, that would sell out in 1 month, and we would continue to buy frequently every single month with these distributors. So when people hear about this business model, they assume that there is a lot of competition, but it's really not the case. On Amazon, there are over 600 million different products with only 1.65 million active sellers. The catalog is far too big for one seller or even a handful to dominate the whole entire marketplace. With those 1.65 million sellers, only 77% of them actually have, only 77% of them only list 10 or less products. This is what myself and other sellers call lemonade stand sellers, people that aren't really taking it serious, doing it on the side and kind of going through the motions. Also, From 2021 up until now, active sellers dropped from 2.4 million to 1.65 million. So that kind of just adds on to the myth of competition on Amazon. The way that I myself and other sellers separate themselves from these lemonade stand sellers is with real distributor invoices. Every purchase order that we make comes with supply chain documents, so there's no bumps in the road when it comes to the products being legit. Also, you can sell in any category or niche. For me right now, I'm more focused in the tools and automotive industry, but I'm not limited to selling anything. I can follow the margin in the future and expand to sell whatever, makeup, sporting goods, clothing, whatever I want to. And then just another stat, 42% of sellers only do $1,000 or less a month. So that just opens up more opportunities for myself and other sellers that take it serious to continue to grow. So my favorite part about this business is for me to win, it doesn't have to be at the cost of somebody else. There are 4 different groups of people that win with this business model. The first, like I said earlier, is with brands and distributors. I buy their inventory, I put their catalog on a whole entire marketplace in front of millions of customers that they would not have been able to reach themselves selling the same way that they have for decades. The next is for consumers. Also, like I touched on earlier, you don't want to have to spend your whole entire Saturday afternoon calling up every auto body shop, every tool shop to see if they have that specific part. With this, again, it's at your doorstep within 2 days with Amazon Prime delivery. Next, Amazon wins. 60% of Amazon's annual revenue comes from third-party sellers like myself. Without us, they can't really operate at the scale that they're at, and they would not be able to survive. And then lastly, obviously, I win. I get to make money with predictable margins and product analysis without it being at the cost of anybody else. So, the road here was extremely, extremely difficult.
3 minutes left.
Hundreds and hundreds of hours have been spent. In September of 2025, I found my mentor, and I knew that this was going to take a lot of time and a lot of learning. That's when I knew I needed to create my own time. That's when I started waking up at 5:15 in the morning to hammer 3 hours of work before the day actually started for everybody else. I made 163 cold calls up until October 29th when I got my first yes. I was dialing the phone, I was super nervous. It was definitely a bit of a learning process, but once we got that first yes, that's pretty much all I needed. But unfortunately, the account that I opened was horrible. The pricing wasn't profitable at all, but that's all I needed. I needed the proof of concept to know that I can really do this, and just a week later, I placed my first purchase order of a little less than $6,000. That's kind of the momentum that I needed, and in January of this year, we did $30,000 in revenue. So this is what a real month looks like from January 1st to January 31st. We did a little under $35,000 in revenue. We spent a little under $15,000 on inventory. That left us with a gross profit margin of $6,230. After our fixed overhead costs, which virtual assistants are, we partner with an agency of virtual workers who help us out with just some of the busier tasks, and then the rest are my website and just some tools that we use. After the fixed overhead, we were left with $5,082.78 net profit. So, after seeing the last slide, you might be wondering why I would actually need the $2,000 if I already have money coming in. So, every single month, my capital doesn't just sit in a bank account. It's all tied up in inventory. Every single month, like I said earlier, I'm replenishing new leads, and I don't really have any capital to work with to try something new. Right now, I have a brand that I'm currently partnered with that does $500,000 in annual revenue, but has little to no presence on Amazon. So there's a lot of room for growth, and where the $2,000 would go is to help this brand, Precision Roller, grow past this $5,000 a month mark. It would be spent on sponsored ads, marketing campaigns, and to just have stable inventory in these Amazon Prime warehouses. Yeah. Thank you so much. This $2,000 wouldn't change the world, but it really would help me get to the next level and where I want to be in the future.
9:38, perfect. So now 5 minutes of Q&A.
Yeah, I have 3 Q&A slides.
Oh, okay, you can jump. Yep.
So how far can this actually go? This is my mentor, Jonah Hodges. He's been in the game for around 7 years now. In monthly revenue, he does $700,000 to $800,000. The margins stay the same. Scaling is just a capital issue. So he profits after all fees around $135,000 per month. Also, Pattern, a big company, just went public who does this business model. They're the first of these types of people who just went public with their company. What a winning product looks like. So there's a screenshot from Amazon. This is actually a product that I sell. I buy it for $7.16. It sells 100 times a month. So Amazon shows us up here, it says 100 plus bought per month. With that information, I don't need to do test orders. I know that I know that there's demand for it, and I know that it'll sell. After all fees, I make $3.61 per unit. And then here are just some unit economics and financials. My average sale price per product is $50 to $150. The average gross margin before Amazon's fees are 25 to 35%. Depending on the product, dimensions, weight, Amazon takes 10 to 15% of the sale price, which leaves us at a net margin of 15 to 25%. Inventory turnover depends, but it's usually anywhere between 30 to 60 days. We're currently doing $30,000 a month. In 6 months, we want to be doing $50,000. In a year, we want to be doing $75,000. And our projected year 2 revenue is $500,000. All right, if anybody has any questions, now would be a great time.
Two questions. First is, why is someone selling to you? Like, how do you go out and get those customers? You know, the customers who are going to sell to you so that you can go on Amazon.
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's kind of the same way that a traditional retail store works. I myself am a business. It might not look like I'm a business because I'm a college student operating out of Royal Crest across the street. But to them, they don't really know who I am. It's not face to face. I'm calling them, so they see me as another retail store. So it's the same as if there was like a auto body shop in town who wanted to buy new inventory. That's what they see me as.
Do you have a website and a presence, and they do due diligence on you?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so with distributors and the people I'm buying from, you can't just wave money in their face and say, all right, I want to spend $20,000 with you today. They're not just going to open up that account. They see things in just like long term. They really value strong relationships. So just taking advantage of those kind of definitely solidifies the relationships.
And isn't your ability to grow based on how much capital you have?
Yeah, so capital is the biggest driver in this business. So everybody starts with the same problem of having the capital but not enough leads, and then before you know it, your position flips. You have too many leads for the amount of capital you have, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
How much capital have you expended so far?
So far, I honestly don't know the number from the top of my head, but I started in September with $13,000 to spend on inventory.
You've not borrowed more?
I'm sorry?
You've not either borrowed or...
No, it was just from me. Just
all of this is done off 13,000?
Right.
Do the customers pay you or Amazon?
So they pay Amazon, and then Amazon pays me out.
So when you're showing on your P&L, your income statement for January, your gross revenue is what you get after Amazon fees.
Right. Yeah. So when I'm looking at a product that I want to sell, the software that I use already factors everything in, so I know how profitable a product really is after all the fees. Yes. What's
the timeline between executing a sale and the cash hitting your account? Just as a follow-up to that question.
Yeah.
Lead time on cash is
so it's up to 21 days after the product is delivered to the consumer.
And do you have a strategy around some of that 30 payments? That obviously you're so young in the game, and believe me, I've got plenty of ventures that are young in the game. So that's a brother-to-brother comment, not a condescending comment. Credit's rough. So are you able to get 30-day leverage or anything like that?
Yeah, so we've got a bit of a cash flow system, and we leverage 0% APR credit cards as well as the American Express Plum. That card gives you a 60-day window to pay, and if you pay it 10 days or at least 10 days early, you get 1.5% cash back, which kind of feeds into the margin more.
let's pretend you're seeking $2 million instead of 2,000. Number one, you've not addressed anything that appeals specifically to an investor. I'd suggest, if I might, that instead of your 4 winner slides, there ought to be 5 winner slides. And the 5th one is, how does an investor win? Where is the return? What might it be? And how quickly might it be secured?
Yeah.
So that's notion number one. Tell me why you didn't choose to address that.
Well, I actually was going to address that, but there were too many slides to show. But I was going to kind of show the compounding effect of what the $2,000 could turn into. So if myself right now, I don't take any money in my pocket, I reinvest everything back. So honestly, I'm not too sure the exact numbers, but just the compounding with $2,000, I believe in 6 months, if I reinvested everything with the margins I currently have, it would turn into 9.
Just like you have to choose what products you're going to market, in effect, you need to choose a hierarchy of the time and what's important to the audience that you're speaking to.
Right.
And I tell you that essentially the first 4 minutes of your presentation were superfluous. The strongest parts are hit on who you are. I'm an entrepreneur. I've done this before. Let me tell you why you ought to have some success and confidence in me. And that would have been able to switch the timeline in terms of what that hierarchy of what needs to be presented on the front end.
But you're not seeking investment.
Sorry?
But you're not seeking investment. Because you're only using the cash flow you generate.
Right.
All right, any last ones? Just trying to keep on, I have to be the timekeeper.
For sale out there on Amazon, how do you decide whether to pick that, to do it against, go head to head against them?
Yeah, so Amazon, for the most part, doesn't actually sell their own products. Like I said, 60% of their annual revenue is from sellers like myself. So on these listings that I'm on, I'm not the only seller. I still compete with other sellers selling the same product on the same web page, but the competition, like I showed, isn't really a factor in revenue, and it really doesn't do much.
So it's a toss-up of which one they buy?
Well, there's just it's very hard to explain, but there's a whole entire algorithm built into Amazon. If you click add to cart and check out who it's really coming, or who you're really paying, it's a whole entire algorithm, and it's kind of seen as the easiest way for the consumer. So if my products are in an Amazon warehouse in California, but you're in New York, they're going to choose somebody else who has a product in a New Jersey warehouse.
So some of that's in your control, some of it's not, right?
Yeah.
Any quick last ones? I just want to keep us on time. You guys okay?
All right, thank you so much, everybody.
So, Adriel, you're going to be next, because you stepped out when you wasn't the first to draw. But just before we go on, there's a few more people I want to introduce that kind of come, like Kim and Chief before. So it's our Assistant Dean, Kim Valenti, my colleague, Mark Lippman, who is the reason I'm here in front of you today to help you get involved with the Girard School initially. And he's the other entrepreneurship professor who's back there. Then we have Donna Ritchie in the back, who's our VP Business Development for the college. I think I got that title right. And our Bucks Moment is one of our professors of, esteemed professors of accounting, who runs the accounting co-op program that's very successful here. So, with that, come on up. Yep, we'll do the website one, right? Adriel.
Oh, what happened?
Nothing on there. Looks right here.
Do it every time, Dave. I think you have.
Have to do it every time?
Yeah.
Set the settings. Okay.
Settings, display.
Yeah,
duplicate.
it defaults to extend, I guess. Yep. Is it there now?
Yep.
Hello everyone, my name is Adriel Frigas. I'm a freshman and I major in entrepreneurship. On the pamphlets I know it says rent a camera, but just today I decided to change the name for more fitting. Concept, which is rent and return. We connect creators who need gear with students who already own it, unlocking access and income. For starters, we discussed the four main problems which brought that idea of a business. First, ever bought something that you didn't want, or you really wanted, matter of fact, and you never really ended up using it? I know I have. I ended up buying 2 cameras, which were about $4,000, and I just saw it sit on my desk for 2 months, and I thought, how can I make money? I'm a college student, I work at the bookstore, get paid minimum, I don't get paid a lot. I wanted to find a way where I could get paid without having to not to actively work so much for it. Therefore, for such a long time, I was the friend who had friends that had a camera. That's why I bought them. I would hit them up and ask them to go out and take pictures. I waited days for them to actually send them, which was the most inconvenient and burdening thing that could happen for me. I wanted to take high quality pictures that I could post on social media and make content with. Therefore, buying the cameras was my solution. However, these cameras, like I said, was used only 2 or 3 times. It was just collecting dust in the middle when it wasn't used. Which made me think to myself, I spent so much money on these cameras and it irritated me so much when I just saw it sit on my desk. I started to think, how can I make money from these cameras? Well, I can rent them out to whoever needs it. I can still have my cameras, but when I don't use them, I can make money from them. Inspiring the idea of rent and return, a mobile app which allows users to look, to rent, or to rent out. And the other reasons, as well as owning items, which of course can become useful over time. Which made me then create a survey. I had 58 people commit to a survey and ask questions. I asked them, how would you describe your spending habits? Have you ever rented into something instead of buying it? How often do you rent items? Have you ever owned something you rarely use? How much would you typically spend to rent for a day? And they all respond. 60% have already rented before. 67 would recommend to a friend. And then I also put a list of things that I could possibly rent out. The most things that people were looking for were event equipment and cameras. And then they also said how much they're willing to spend, which was $20 to $100 a day. Then going on to our survey validation. 93% of survey respondents reported owning items they rarely or never use. 75% of survey respondents expressed interest in using the platform, and almost 100% or every 100% of survey respondents indicated that they would use the app upon launch. So I already feel like I'm valid enough to create solutions, to create an idea. Which then brought me to value proposition. Users can list items they don't use often and make money from it. Users don't have to sell or give away their belongings. They stay in control. Current rental options are limited, inconvenient, or don't include personal items. Instead of sitting unused, items stay active and valuable through repeated use.